Expressing what you long for is a fast track to attract what you desire, Doc. Once, a colleague and I were having lunch in my hometown, Nice, Ohio. I was visiting my parents' home. My companion wanted to discover the secret to creating his own reality and attracting more prosperity. After thinking for a moment, I told him the most challenging idea for most people is that they are the main reason for what they experience in their lives. They have total responsibility. Applause, music, music. I watched as my friend looked up in surprise. How can that be? He exclaimed almost. I am not responsible for a car accident I might have, or losing my job, or anything else life throws at me. I took a deep breath. It wasn't going to be easy to explain this, but I wanted to do it as best as I could. Spirituality has a lot to do with taking full responsibility for what happens in your life, I told him. Good or bad, everything comes to you by you. As Joseph Murphy said, your life is an outer reflection of your inner emotions. I don't spend the day imagining car accidents, my friend mentioned. Perhaps not intentionally, I replied, but have you noticed how the news is filled with negative topics, from accidents to murders or even crises in countries we've never heard of? Yes, but your mind absorbs this programming, I explained. Have you noticed how movies also influence your mind? What kind of ideas? He asked. Well, have you noticed that most of the time the biggest business in movies comes from the villain? Are you taught that money is bad, that it corrupts, or that rich people are bad? I continued. The point is, all of this programs your mind to attract precisely the things you would prefer not to experience. My friend was silent for a minute. I think what you're saying is that we are responsible for our own experiences, he started. Exactly, I said. And you did it for your own reasons. Maybe you wanted the challenge to make you stronger, or you wanted the experience to understand life in certain ways. I don't know, only you know, although it might be in some corner inside you. But what about all the people who come into my life and argue with me? Or the people who live miserable lives, my friend asked. In my opinion, everything in your life is an external representation of what is happening inside you, I smiled. But that sounds quite complicated to accept, he said. Yes, it's true, I admitted. The disbelief reflects that I also believe everything I'm saying. But what happens when you disagree with me? You also created that. It's tough to accept, but it's true. Sounds pretty strange, doesn't it? He said. Well, once you're clear about what you believe, then your own doubts will fade away, or you just won't boast about them to me. So do we create absolutely everything? He asked. That's right, I nodded. We are co-creators. You wanted someone to explain the secrets of the universe to you, and I wanted material for my new book. We created this. My friend nodded. And what about when we're in an angry situation and we fight over these ideas? He asked. Yes, I understand your question. You're probably asking yourself the same thing. What does it mean when people confront you or you have a fight with a family member, spouse, or neighbor? You also created that. We create everything, I explained. What you see is an external representation of what you believe inside you. I call it the power of attraction. This sounds quite strange, he said. If this is true, once you're clear about what you believe, then your own doubts will fade away or you just won't boast about them to me. You have to think about all of this, my friend said. This is the power of attraction, I explained. It means you are the source of the experiences you see, a co-creation to have experiences for your own reasons. The world is your mirror. It's like I created a more beautiful world, I said. Now you can, I told him. Now that you're realizing your own inner power, you can start deliberately creating circumstances. You may not achieve it overnight or master it in this lifetime, but you can start doing it right now. Most people have no idea what they want, or if they do, they think small. I want you to think big on a larger scale than you've ever thought before. I want you to apply the phrase auto liquid digno, that is, dare to do something important. Why not become a trillionaire? I suggested. According to my friend Brad Hopp, CEO of Trillion magazine, there are $22 trillion of personal fortunes circulating around the world. And yet, for the time being, there is no trillionaire. Why not choose to become the world's first trillionaire? In fact, that's my goal, but you can pursue it too. And what about when I disagree with you? He asked. You also created that, I said. It's tough to accept, but it's true. Your disbelief reflects that I also believe everything I'm saying. But does that mean I chose to go to Alcoholics Anonymous and make my life chaotic? He asked. Well, that's what it really means, I told him. And you did it for your own reasons. Maybe you wanted the challenge to make you stronger, or you wanted the experience to understand life in certain ways. I don't know, only you know, although it might be in some corner inside you.